Hey guys, you're watching BTech. I am Basil and this video is all about the Nokia 8 and the Note 8. After this week, I've spent over a week with the Nokia 8 and I've used the Note 8 for a good hour and a half, and I've formed some pretty strong opinions on both the Nokia and the Note 8. So I'm here to answer all your questions live. Now, the Nokia 8 is a really decent phone in a lot of respects. Anyone who stayed on top of the channel in the last week will have seen my videos with the Nokia 8. I've done loads of them and everyone's like, oh, we want the review, we want the review. Actually, this is a video to kind of explain why we can't give you the review just yet. I can't. Hey, so we've got a hi from Presetio. Pleasure to have you on board. So the review of the Nokia 8 is unfortunately have to wait a little bit, only because we haven't got the final software, and the software that I have is just too buggy to review, unfortunately. It's a real shame because there are a lot of aspects of this phone that I absolutely love, but just little things like you try and watch something on Netflix, it only actually displays in half the screen. I know that sounds like ridiculous, but it's true. Like, and little bugs like that are popping up every now and then. I don't know if it's going to do it now that I'm explaining it. We might have an issue with connectivity, but what I'm always seeing on here is just half the screen displayed with Netflix. So yeah, there you go. And so you can see only half the screen's displayed. So I opened Netflix today, I'm like, yes, Death Note, the new series on Netflix, Netflix Originals out, and I came to watch it and I was like, I can't, because the Nokia 8 that I have and that most reviewers have at the moment is just too buggy, which is annoying. But I can review elements in isolation, so I'm going to do that in the next couple of days. Gaming's great on the Nokia 8, I really enjoy it. I mean, plug in headphones because that bottom speaker is super easy to cover up. But yeah, as far as a full review goes, it's just too early because it'll do well in most areas and then get absolutely slammed when it comes to stability. Okay, so let's take a look at your questions. Hey to everyone in the room, Ashraf, Yo-Yo, pleasure. Nepali, I always watch your videos, thank you Nepali. So what's the difference between taking photos with color and twin mode on the Nokia? Honestly, I still don't know. I've done some side-by-sides. Do you know what, that's actually a really good idea for my next video, to go through the user interface of the Nokia 8 camera, because you probably can't see the display. Let me thwack the brightness as high as I can. And with twin mode and color mode, they both take the same kinds of shots. I know that twin mode is supposed to take slightly better shots in low light, potentially grab more dynamic range, but I'm not necessarily experiencing that in side-by-sides. I need to be a little bit more in depth, so may make a video on that one tomorrow. So that's the only real question. It's from Presetio. To give you an idea as to how the camera UI stacks up now that I've used it for a few days, it's pretty much easy to work around. Like, for example, bokeh mode was really hard to get your head around at first, but I'm actually gonna flip to the rear camera so that you can see. I'll do it live. I'll do a live bokeh. So we've got the headphones in the foreground, and I tap to activate bokeh mode. I have to make sure that I'm on the twin lenses, can't have it on just the color lenses, and I have to tap on this here, press live bokeh, and I think I'd just be able to take a picture, but it doesn't work if you just take a picture. You have to actually tap on the screen, take a picture, and then the bar appears, swipe the bar all the way right, and then take a picture, and only then will it take the bokeh mode. So if I open that picture again, I can see that's got the bokeh effect applied, whereas the one I took before didn't. And you think maybe you can apply the bokeh effect afterwards. In the edit setting, the bokeh effect isn't there, whereas in the other one where I tapped and created a bar, the bokeh editor is there. So like I said, it's just an unintuitive experience. I can then retrospectively focus on a different part. After I get to this point, it's great, but getting to this point is really confusing if you don't know what you're doing, and it's taken me a bit of time to really figure it out. Like, it probably will take you a bit of time too. And as for someone who isn't even into tech, it's probably something that they'll never even stumble upon unless they really try. Right, back to my face. Let's see some of your questions. How is the Nokia 8 different to the U11? They seem to be very similar. They are and they aren't very similar. The U11 is much more stable when it comes to the user interface at this stage. The Nokia 8, like I said though, isn't final release. We've seen with the OnePlus 5 what a difference it can make when a device gets a software update. It got much more stable and the camera got much better. Apologies for the background noise, guys. So what that also means is that the U11 is easier to recommend as a result. It is a more expensive phone. It also has the edge sense, the U11, so you can squeeze the side of the phone in order to activate the various functions. It's got Amazon Alexa on board too. What else? There are a few things. It's got stereo speakers, or at least it has a bottom and front firing speaker setup. The U11 fundamentally is a more premium phone. It isn't quite as slender, it doesn't feel quite as slender or elegant. But yeah, if you're tossing up between the two, I'd pick the U11. Even without the headphone jack, yeah, I'd pick the U11. So looking at more questions, tell us about the battery life. So the Nokia 8 has a 3090 milliamp battery. If you're a light to moderate user, it will get you through a full day pretty easily. It's all down to really screen on time. The default brightness on the Nokia 8 is way too bright. If you ramp the default down, it really helps with that. Once you do get through a day, if you're a power user like me, it will not get you through a day, unfortunately. It will get you nearer through around 7 AM until probably 5:30, 6 PM. If you're a moderate user, it'll get you through till about 9, 10 PM. And if you're a light user, easily through a full day. Let's see what other questions. Tell us about, I see I did refer to the thing via Twitter, but no replies from him yet. So that was just to shout out some people we've got in the room. We've got Paranova, we've got Ishan. Hey Ishan, he asked about the battery life. Domino's also asked about the battery life. Do you think they will change the camera app with Android Oreo? I hope they change the camera app before Android Oreo. The camera app is one of my less favorite things about it, and it doesn't even support manual by default. But flipping the camera around once more, you can see I have actually got, I don't have a camera app, the default camera app, which is this one, in my taskbar. What I have is the manual camera application. So using this, you can, let me just tap through on settings, file format, you can shoot JPEGs or PNGs, enable RAW capture, you can capture RAW files as well. So you can do all of the things that you'd want from a manual camera using third-party software. This isn't just not preloaded on board. So for example, I can, let's try and balance this out. I can change the focus so that I get to the closest focal range. So I just have to pinch, zoom, or pinch to get, or drag to get the focus. And then closest focal range, ramp up the exposure a little bit. I can actually ramp up the exposure a bit more, a bit more, a bit more. Even with the handshake, how banging is that shot? Like, you can open that up. This is a kind of shot. So this is actually a really damn good sensor. It's just limited by the fact that the shooting modes aren't the best. Yeah, and this also took a raw picture as well, so I can then share this out with Lightroom and edit it there. It really is going to be worth doing maybe a comparison between the automatic camera modes on here and the raw shooting. Right, back to my face and I'll get through to some of your questions. Let's tap on the screen. Okay, so what is the special feature in the Nokia 8? The special feature in the Nokia 8 is the branding, and it pains me to say it. Also, actually, that's a lie. There's two special features. The front camera is the best front camera of any device that I've used in terms of actually pictures and video, I think. Shoots up to 4K video from the selfie camera, which is very good, and the audio recording is exceptional. So that's the best thing about the Nokia 8. Second best thing about the Nokia 8 is the branding. It's cool to have a phone that says Nokia on it. And that was from Ashraf Sheikh. I think the OnePlus 5 is a better choice. I think the OnePlus 5 is a better choice if you don't need image stabilization on those cameras, optical image stabilization, that is. Does it have gimmicky features like Samsung? Actually, the Nokia 8's gimmicky feature is a bothy mode, which isn't really a feature so much. It's just using the sensors and blah, 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 blah. So I guess a bothy is a gimmicky feature, but it actually works quite nicely. And apart from that, it is really stock Android, apart from the camera app, which unfortunately is one of the worst aspects of it. Right. Oh, you were talking about the Note 8. Sorry, dude. I thought you were talking about the Nokia 8. Do you know what? That's a pretty good time. Let me just browse through any additional feature questions about the Nokia 8, and then I'll jump over to the Note 8, because the Nokia 8's gotten a lot of airtime on the channel. Is your opinion it's Nokia 8 worth to button now? So that was from Domino. In your opinion, it's Nokia 8 worth? Didn't really make sense, but I'm guessing in your opinion, is it worth getting the Nokia 8 now? No, hold out until the device launches for general mass market, and then look at some of the reviews that are reviewing it after that happens, when the final software build lands, because if it improves, then it's a yes. I mean, if this ran perfectly well in terms of stability at the price it is, with all of the features, and the camera was improved, it would totally be worth the £549 asking price, thanks to the Snapdragon inside and the selfie camera and the sound recording. If it isn't improved, then it won't be. It's as simple as that. Any other Nokia 8? How snappy is Nokia 8? Super snappy until it bugs out and crashes, which it does a lot of the time. And that was from Utsav Thapa. Right, now on to Note 8. How is the in-hand feel of the Note 8 compared to the S8? The Note 8's a bit thicker, it's a bit beefier, it's 8.4 or 8.6 millimeters or something thick, so it's a fair bit thicker, but because you've got the S Pen, you kind of expect it to be. It feels exactly like an S8 Plus with a more easy to identify fingerprint scanner, which is still around the back, unfortunately. I want the Note 8, but I'm a bit worried about the battery capacity, 3,300 milliamps. Let's see what else you're asking about the Note 8. Are the Note 8 features enough to get the Note 8 over the S8 Plus? I would say only if you really care about an S Pen. That's it. Other features, no. The dual camera is probably going to be excellent, but the S8 Plus has an excellent camera. Sorry guys, children screaming in the background. So yeah, the S8 Plus has an excellent camera too. So I'd say only get the Note 8, because it is also going to be a lot more expensive if you really want the S Pen. Did you test out the Fusion mode camera? Yeah, I did, and it seemed to do a decent job, like I said, but the S8 Plus camera is excellent too. And for anyone who hasn't used an S8 Plus, you can actually get that background defocus mode. You just have to hold your hand a little bit stiller, and it works really well. I like more the audio record from old Nokia Lumias, so that's from Mauricio. Mauricio is obviously someone who has seen the Nokia Lumia 1020 versus the Nokia 8 video that I posted earlier yesterday even. And the old Nokia 1020 had some pretty excellent sound recording on it. Managed to isolate my voice a fair bit better, yeah, just really good noise management considering the environment I was shooting in. Okay, let's see some more questions. From O2 Lumia, can you please try taking portrait mode at night and compare it to the iPhone 7 Plus? I will do that. You're talking about the Nokia 8, I'm guessing, or the Note 8. Either could be applicable. Both have portrait mode on them. When I get them in, that's a really good point. One of the videos that I'm really eager to do is a comparison between all the monochrome modes and all the portrait modes. So Ashraf, thanks for the answer, man. No worries. Let's just see. Any more questions? Is it better than other flagships or on par with them? If you're talking about the Note 8, I'd say it's probably better than all the other flagships. Looks like it could be the best phone in the world. It could be. We'll have to wait. But as for the Nokia 8, it's actually in its current state worse than all the other flagships until stability improves, and that may well happen when it goes up for general release with the next software update. So that's why I'm holding off my review for now. Is the camera better than the LG G6? On the Note 8, on the Nokia 8, it's less mottled, so there's less of a kind of grainy or like blotted effect. The LG G6 in automatic mode has a really bad habit of over processing images to the point where they just look a little bit muddy, and so the Nokia 8's a bit better than that, but it hasn't got the versatility the G6 provides with a wide angle lens, and you can override that automatic like over processing with the G6 by just shooting in manual and raw, so you're going to get big file sizes, but at least the override's there, and there's a manual and raw mode out of the box. You don't have to install and pay for a third-party application. Is there always on display double tap to wake feature? With the Nokia, yes there is. So let me flip the camera around. So you can see that always on display is on there, and double tap to wake, there you go, and you can see my Spider-Woman wallpaper right there. So yeah, that's pretty cool to have. Again, reminiscent of the old Nokias, of the Lumia 1020, which I have loved using the last few days. Reminded me, oh, that's a picture of a pram in my feet, there you go, which I've loved using the past few days. Reminded me that I actually really miss Windows Phone. Not for the app support obviously, but having a different user interface, so it was really, really nice. Super clean and everything like that, and of course the Lumia camera app. I miss it so much. Right, let's see what else you're asking. Did Nokia 8 run hot when you were heavy gaming? No, not especially. It got warm, absolutely, but not especially hot. I only played games for a maximum 20 minutes on it, and actually, to be fair, 3D games for only about 10-15 minutes. The majority of the stuff I was playing was 2D RPGs, which aren't going to run it that hot. But yeah, 10-15 minutes of 3D stuff didn't run it super hot. Thank you for the answer, and keep up what you're doing. Better phone coverage. Thanks, O2 Lumia. I absolutely will. I think the Nokia 8 is better than the Note 8. That's from End Die. If the Nokia 8 was cheaper, it could be better value than the Note 8, or if it was more stable, it would be better value. But as far as the phone goes, End Die, I think you're wrong. I'm sorry. Yeah, if you were using this like I've been, and you were having things like the camera app force close, sorry dude, children everywhere, yeah, then it would just be a bit of a pain. So the Nokia 8, like I said, isn't there yet. Is the Note 8 too big even with the slim bezels, as it is bigger than an iPhone 7 Plus? The Note 8, sorry, yeah, the Note 8, it's a big phone. It's a 6.3-inch screen phone. When you think that the iPhone 7 Plus is a 5.5-inch screen phone, and side by side they're actually really comparable, I think Samsung has done an incredible job with design. They've made it as small as it possibly can be. And remember guys, if you've got a pen, you'll want to be able to draw on it. If you want to be able to draw on it, the bigger screen really helps with that. What do you think the Nokia 8's main competitor is? The Nokia 8's main competitors are 2 or 3. You've got the OnePlus, which is £449, which is £100 cheaper here in the UK. Yes, it doesn't have the Quad HD display, and it doesn't have as good a front camera when it comes to stabilization and stuff, but everything else is pretty much better, unfortunately, so the OnePlus is kind of stealing it. But that said, you can't go into a shop and buy a OnePlus at the price that it's retailing on their website. You have to buy it online, so that's something that Nokia has over OnePlus in that respect. The other competitor is the Honor 9. The Honor 9 is way cheaper and offers a more refined experience, and it's a smaller device as well, with around as much power. So smaller device means it might be appealing to a wider audience base. The camera in default the camera on the Nokia should be better than the Honor 9, but it isn't necessarily, basically down to software. The Honor 9 has excellent software on it. Rank the cameras of all the flagships. Okay, flagship cameras in order of preference, and I'm going to go on my personal, this is super subjective. My favorite camera is probably the Samsung Galaxy Note 8. And that's super early to say, but the reason is it would otherwise be the P10 or the P Plus or something like that, because I just love those effects. Or the S8, because it's a standalone camera, it's just amazing. So I'm going to say the Note 8 for when it comes. Otherwise it's the S8. The S8 camera is just really, really good. The P10, P10 Plus up there as well, or the Mate 9, same difference, and the HTC U11 is up there as well. This is pretty much like such a narrow margin at the top. The iPhone is excellent. The only issue I have with the iPhone camera is that the second lens is so bad in low light. So it's incredible in good light, and the portrait mode is so good in good light, but in bad light it's really crumbly. Then it would, I mean, the Nokia 8 is going to be round the bottom, unfortunately, or middle bottom if you're talking rear cameras. And Honor 9 will be above the Nokia 8, and OnePlus 5 will be on par, slightly above the Honor 9. Yeah, so starting from the bottom, Nokia 8 in its current state until it gets a software update, Nokia 8, then Honor 9, then OnePlus 5, then Google Pixel, Pixel XL, HTC U11 and iPhone all rank in the same, and then it's Samsung and a Galaxy S8 / Note 8, fingers crossed if that ends up being as good, and P10 and P10 Plus just a little bit below, so the Samsungs take the top spot. Sorry that was waffly, I had to process all that in my brain while I was talking. Any information regarding essential phone launch in the UK? No, nothing, unfortunately. And all the briefings that anyone I know's had have been US based, not UK based. And what else? Do you think the Nokia 8 is better than the Honor 9? No, I think the Honor 9 is better than the Nokia 8, provided like Nokia 8 stays as unstable as it is in terms of software. But as soon as it gets a software update, get stability up on track, then it'll have a more stock version of Android, it'll have a better front camera, it could have a better rear camera as well with that software update, and it'll also have better audio recording, and then yeah, the Nokia 8 will get better. It's also got a Quad HD display, don't forget, and at 5.3 inches, that's incredibly sharp. Just wondering whether you prefer the design of the OnePlus 5 over the OnePlus 3T. I think the OnePlus 5, it's thinner, it's like none of the OnePluses win me with design. What they win me with is value, and the OnePlus 5 is excellent value for money. Nokia can be successful if they price their phone right, good customer service and phone availability. You forget one thing, O2 Lumia, and that's having stable software. Like I said, when you come to watch Netflix and half the screen is black, when you come to open the camera UI and it force closes and you have to reset your phone in order to use your camera, when you come to receive a call and the phone app just crashes, and this is my point. This wasn't a device I feel was necessarily ready to hit reviewers just yet, because it isn't going up for general release just yet. So I'd say Nokia could have waited there. I mean, it's going against my best interests as someone who reviews phones to say Nokia shouldn't have given us an event at the launch, but I really do want Nokia to succeed. I want them to give us phones when they're ready and representative of what they're going to give to the user at the end of the day, and I don't feel that's what the Nokia 8s that we reviewers got were. Right, let's see what else you guys have to say. I always prefer Nokias over all other phones. That's a brand choice, and I totally respect that. And I really, really love Nokia too. So hopefully they can pull through and represent the brand appropriately. Any news regarding Nokia 9? No, no news. Hopefully, I don't think there's going to be anything at IFA, given the fact I've had all that, my press conferences through, haven't had anything from Nokia. So, plus I think it would just steal the limelight from the Nokia 8. So I think Nokia is going to ride the Nokia 8 wave for a while, hopefully clean up some of the issues with it, and then we'll be Nokia 9ing all the way, or at the end of this year, hopefully. Does Note 8 better than S8 in exception to the dual camera? Is it worth buying that? So a lot of you are like S8 or Note 8 or S8 Plus or Note 8, and that was again from Ashraf. Get the S8 Plus if you don't care about a pen. If you really want a pen, get the Note 8. It's that simple. But bear in mind, you'll be spending a lot of money on the luxury of having that pen. Deadpool's asking, does it shoot RAW? If you're talking about the Nokia, yes it does, but only with a third-party application. Which brand is your favorite? I would say right now Samsung is my favorite because the S8 Plus is just the most beautifully designed phone around, and the camera is exceptional. I'm eager to see what Apple does. I love HTC, but it just design-wise can't compete with the Samsung Galaxy S8 and S8 Plus. I'm really intrigued by the V30 from LG. I didn't love the LG G6. The V30 looks like it's going to have everything on it based on the leaks. So yeah, but right now it's Samsung all the way. Also, if you type speed sketch in BTECT, you'll see I've done a load of drawing. I used to be a graphic designer. I love all that stuff. So yeah, the Note 8 and Samsung generally, favorite brand of the moment. I expected 220 megapixel lenses. I feel disappointed with the fashion of downloading megapixels. So that was from Mauricio. So with regards to megapixels aren't everything. I think the the Moto Z2 Play and the Samsung are a case in point. They're flagships. Motorola's mid-range flagship, the Z2 Play, and the Samsung Galaxy S8 dropped the megapixels and ended up producing better pictures. With Nokia, if you're referring to the PureView type technology of downsampling, then yeah, I agree with you. It would have been nice to have seen that, but I don't know what deal HMD, the owners of Nokia now, got with regards to licenses and patents of the PureView technology, if they had time to implement it. So yeah, fingers crossed it makes a return. I get you with that, Mauricio, but megapixels aren't always better. But when it comes to the Nokia 1020, they kind of were. Samsung Galaxy S8 or iPhone 7, S8 Plus, but S8. I'd get an S8 over the iPhone every time. More screen, less bezel. Yes, you have an awkward fingerprint scanner, but you've got a more flexible camera. There's manual mode on there. You've got that background blur, even though you don't have a second lens, which you don't have on the iPhone. So yeah, S8 over iPhone 7, hands down. Polished blue, is it easy to scratch? I've got the polished black one, and yeah, it is easy to scratch, unfortunately. That was from Augustin DeVita. Can't Nokia release Android version of Lumia 1020? From Abni Manu Chauhan. Oh, I really hope they could, bud. I'd be the first in line. Man, imagine camera grip and everything. Oh yeah, that's good stuff. Hey, why won't you do a live streaming using Nokia 8? I want to have the Nokia 8 in my hand while doing the live stream. I'm streaming on the Asus Zenfone AR, so that I can show you guys what's going on. Unfortunately, with YouTube live streams, you can't stream what's going on the screen. So if I'm doing something like talking about the phone, I want to be able to flip it around, open up the camera application so you can see what I'm talking about. So like I've said over and over, one of the illogical things about this phone is if I'm recording a black and white photo, I go into video, sorry, I have to go into mono in photo, and then I go out into video, and then if I want to now go back to recording a color video, I can't do that. I have to annoyingly jump back into photo, go back into color or twin, then go back into video, and only now can I swap between color and mono. And it's those kinds of things that are just really annoying from a user experience point of view. Back to my face. All right, let's see. Is the placement of the fingerprint scanner a deal breaker? On the Note 8, no it isn't. The fingerprint scanner on the Note 8 is better than the Samsung Galaxy S8 because it's more recessed. It's like easier for your thumb to navigate around. As you slide in that way, you stop when you get to the fingerprint scanner, so you're less likely to go over the camera surround and smudge up your screen. Though it is entirely possible you end up with a grubby fingerprint filled screen. Let's see what else you're saying. Do you think the Nokia 8 is a stepping stone for HMD to develop future flagships that will compete with Samsung and iPhone? Yeah, I do. I think that's exactly the case. Rohit Sharma. I think that the Nokia really kind of... Wow, why is it zoomed in on my face? Let me just... There you go. Sorry guys, you did not need to see that. I think the Nokia 8 should have been better for reviewers, because it's making us cast our first impressions and then it's putting that onto you guys. I think the Nokia 9, they will hopefully have learned from this experience. It will have a different camera UI, it will be way less buggy, and like, that's it, that's all I need. Not that much. If they give me stereo speakers, wireless charging and waterproofing, hey, that'll make me even happier. But I don't even need that. I just need more stability and a better interface. Yeah. Let's see what else you've got to say. Oh, plus the polycarbonate body. Yeah, unibody polycarbonate. Just give me a 1020, goddammit. Nokia gave some information on how many microphones in the Nokia 8 has. The Nokia 8 has 3 microphones to record that Ozo stereo surround. Do you have to return this phone to Nokia or not? I don't know yet. If they request it back, I'll send it back. What was your first phone? Oh, my first phone was a really old Ericsson phone. My first color phone was a Sony Ericsson T68i. My first smartphone was probably a Windows phone. It was like HTC Universal or something. And my first Android phone was a Dell Streak. Right, let's see what else. Do you ever use Tango on your Zen phone? Yeah. Tango's pretty sweet. There is a really cool application with Tango that I'll feature in the review that enables you to lay out furniture in a room, and it works exceptionally well. Give the Nokia to me. I love it. I get that, Endai. So ENDDY on this live chat is a massive Nokia fanboy, and that's okay. I wish it would support Daydream. So that's Deadpool with regards to the Note 8. Yeah, it's got an AMOLED display, so technically it should. If you're talking about the Nokia 8, yeah, IPS display. Boo, it can't. Where is Gina in your latest vids? Gina's working with another broadcaster now, unfortunately, but I still see her, so I will tell her you said, "Hey Tillman, how can I get this phone from Nokia like you got it?" They're only seeding it to press media. So as we review phones, we got a device to review. One last couple of questions. The last couple of questions. Gabor says, I don't know why companies use this shiny material. After a few minutes, it's going to be dirty. I prefer BlackBerry's rubber backs. Yeah, BlackBerry design's actually pretty banging on Alcatel. The Key one was a really great looking phone. But I get why they make the shiny ones, because they're shiny, and we're like magpies and we're attracted to it. But yeah, I do also think that the copper looking Nokia 8, like the Solar Red HTC U11, is just stunning, and I'd be prepared to put up with a few scratches if I got myself one of those. And I think that is all of your questions. Been live for half an hour, guys. Appreciate your questions coming in thick and fast. If you've got any more, I'm gonna leave this video live. Sorry for everyone who's watched this entire thing and is wondering why it is in portrait not landscape. It just makes it much easier for me to read your questions as they come in. If you enjoyed this video, click that thumbs up button. Make sure you subscribe to BTech if you're not already subscribed. It's how you stay on top of everything we do. Have an excellent weekend, guys, and keep watching for much more on the Note 8, Nokia 8, and many more phones. Bye.